So I leave for vacation for about a week, and I come back and our peanuts are extremely close to overlapping. You can tell that there's some wide rows right here. We're sitting at about 2 feet right now. Yeah, the rows are about 2 feet wide. We got about a foot between overlapping. Every now and then some peanuts are, you know, a little bit bigger, so they'll be a little bit closer to overlapping, but on average we're about a foot away from overlapping. It looks really, really good. We're supposed to have like insanely hot weather this week, so once this pivot, because well, the peanuts are going to need a lot more water, and this field has half cotton, half peanuts, so we're gonna water the peanuts a little more than cotton. Cotton will be okay with not getting as much water because cotton is a little more susceptible to that. So once it gets here to, I'll show you, we're almost straight with the rows. So once that pivot gets straight and waters everything over here, we're gonna send it on a 100% reverse back or forward. We can give the cotton maybe a little bit of water, but we'll send it back to that end, and then we'll water the peanuts at the end, because we're supposed to be having 110 plus degree weather. So it's supposed to be insanely hot this next week. Well, it's Saturday now. I just got back from vacation yesterday. So it's supposed to be insanely hot next week. So we're gonna give the peanuts a little more water, because they won't do good if you don't give them as much water. So that's what I'm gonna go do now. I'm gonna go check up on a few more pivots, and then I will also go, which I got a message in the middle of the night saying that one of our pivots turned off. So I'm going to go to the shop now, because I just barely finished checking up on these pivots right here. I'm gonna go to the shop. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be either a motor or a tire. So I'm gonna take with a motor and a tire. Gonna head to that field, gonna see what's wrong, fix it. I'm hoping it'll just be something easy like a fuse, that I can just straight up just turn it back on and let it go again. But who knows what'll be wrong, but I'm still gonna take with these two things just to make sure, just be on the safe side. And then I'll go and fix that pivot. Wow, look at that. I think these peanuts are pretty close to touching each other. Can barely fit my foot in between here. These are some solid looking green rows. That, and I also found the problem. Would you look at what we got here? I was somewhat right. Tire is broken, so it's bad. And I'm not quite sure what we have here, but I do see that tire was spinning a little, and this drive shaft right here is bent, and I'm gonna have to take off this plastic cover right here to where I can get to it with my crescent wrench, and I'm gonna have to see if I can spin that to make sure that that gearbox is okay. But I think the gearbox is gonna be okay, because if the tire was bad, that means that that tire over there had to push more, and then resulting in this drive shaft breaking. And what it almost looks like is that it's bent. It looks like, you know, you can see that curve. I'm not quite sure if that'll work, because that right there, if I hook that on right there, that right there is going to want to hit this piece of metal right here. Might have to get a full new bar, or see if I can, depending on how bad it is, I might have to bend this back or get it as straight as possible. That is, I don't know how straight I'll get it, but I'll have to pry it some way or another and see what I can do. So good thing I'm only a tower away from the end right here, so looks like what I'll have to do, I didn't really want to back on the field here, but I don't feel like bringing that tire all the way over here across the rows. And it is kind of in the middle of the field, so it's like we're halfway from that end or that end, and it just finished watering right there. So I'll have to back in from this end, back up over here, and then I'll have all my tools. I don't have to worry about bringing things back and forth. So I'm gonna go get my truck and start fixing it. So first things first, I'm gonna take off the tire. So, just got the tire off. Also got the shaft off now. And I'm just going to try to see if I can spin this, if this spins. As you can see, that right there is turning. So that means we're good. This gearbox is not bad. All I gotta do is just bend this bar back, hook up the U-joints, and put on a new tire. So I just got the bar off of there, and it's quite bent. So now I gotta figure out a way to bend it back and straight, which I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it yet, but I think I might have to use one of these holes right here, see what I can do. I'm not quite sure how well it'll work, but I'll have to just keep prying and trying until I finally get it. I don't know how well that's gonna work, but looks like it's doing somewhat of a good job. I mean, got it decently straight, but I don't know how well you can tell, but it's a little bit warped. That is something that I cannot fix. That's gonna have to be okay. But other than that, straight wise, I think we're gonna be pretty close. Just that way I won't be hitting that bar. It'll still be straight, but it'll be warped. But that'll be okay. So I'm gonna put this U-joint on there, and then time for the tire. Drive shaft and U-joint is fixed. And got the tire on there now. And now I gotta figure out, or not figure out, now I just gotta do it. Put this old tire on my truck, which is gonna be quite difficult because, as you can see, it's quite bad. It's kind of all lopsided and whatnot. It has mud in there and whatnot, so it's at least twice the weight of this new tire, which this is not technically a new tire, it's a recap. It's just an old semi tire, and they put a different cap on the outside of it to give it these treads and stuff. But this thing's going to be at least twice as heavy, which is going to be a little bit difficult putting it on the truck, but I think I can do it. And then I'll right away turn on this pivot, and we're going to start watering it again.
busted my nose. Dang, this sucker's heavy. There you go. Ooh, that's a lot of mud. How's my nose? Is it bad? Might have busted it a little bit. That's all good. Got the, at least got the tire on there. Whew! Try and get all the mud off my shoes before I climb into my clean truck. And as I'm looking, it's like not bad, but it's not terrible either. Or it's not good. I might have to put something over that. Not quite sure what. Don't want any sand or something like that to get in there. But now I fixed it all. I'm just gonna drive to the pivot because I cannot, I'm kind of dirty here. I cannot turn it on from my phone because it has alignment fault, and when you use the app doesn't like you to use your phone whenever there's an alignment fault. So you have to go to the pivot and then manually override it and then restart the pivot like that. So now I'm gonna go ahead to the pivot, gonna fix that, and then maybe see about this scar right here. Maybe I can patch it up or something. I think we have a first aid kit at the shop. Just gonna patch it up a little bit and be on my merry way. So I'm just gonna start it on reverse. Oh, I gotta override it by pressing that button. And now it starts driving. And I think that's, oh no. Let me put it on forward. Actually, it was on 22%, but I'm just gonna crank that up to 100% to get it to realign itself quicker. Hold that in for a little bit. There you go. And then turn on the water, and all these wells start turning on again. This one just already turned on. All the rest of them should also turn on, and then in like a few minutes we should have the pivot full of water. And that didn't even take too long. Just a few seconds and we already got water in these first couple towers here. There's still a lot of air in there, but give it like another 10-15 minutes and it'll be completely pressured up. So I'm gonna go to the end of the pivot and make sure all the tips are open, which this pivot really usually doesn't have very many tips open, or tips closed. The only tips that are usually closed on this field are the end 3 tips. There's usually a little bit of sand and rust in there. You just gotta open those and then it should be fine. So everything is working now. I'm gonna put it back on forward to the right percent and go to the end of the pivot and see how everything looks. And just as I suspected, the last 2 tips, actually, the third one is like halfway closed. The last 3 tips are closed, so I gotta open them. And we're good. And now I gotta go check up on what is it, 5 more pivots, and then I'll head to the shop and see what I can do about this nasty little scar here. I don't think it's gonna be too big of an issue, but I'm just going to maybe put one of those little white deals on. It's not a band-aid, it's just a little thing just to hold the wound closed. Might put that on there because I don't want it to go open. So I might just put that on there, call it good. Maybe it'll clot itself and it'll stop bleeding and it'll get shut by itself, and I'll just leave it alone. But it'll be okay. I'm gonna go check up on some corn. And looks like the fertilizer is almost empty on this field. So now I'm debating on, do I want to let it get emptier, or do I want to close it now and just leave that little bit of fertilizer in there? I might, I think I'm just gonna come back later and let it get a little bit emptier. That way there's not as much fertilizer sitting in there throughout an entire year, because we're not gonna use any more fertilizer the rest of the year, all the way till next year whenever we start fertilizing again. So I think I'm just gonna let that get emptier a little bit more, come here after lunch, evening sometime, or afternoon sometime, and then I'm gonna turn off that fertilizer pump and close that valve right there. So other than that, I'm gonna check up on this corn right here. Haven't been here for about a week, and as I'm looking across the field already, I can't even see any more rows. Wow, I'm gone for a week and this corn is just insanely tall. I'm gonna walk out here a little bit and take a look at it. But man, this looks really good. I like this. Man, I love how fast corn grows. That's one of my favorite things to look at. But look at this, can't even see any more rows. Woo! That's amazing. I love it. This is exciting. Dang, it's like, I would say, it's close to my waist in height. This looks beautiful. Dang. Check it out. Looking at my waist right here, it's about a good 3.5, almost 4, not 4 feet, no, around 3.5 feet tall. I sure love it. This fertilizer pump is also good, but there's still 1,000 gallons left in that tank, and we have 2 tanks in the middle of the field. This corn here is, by the way, looking a little bit on the yellow side, but I think we're spraying some more iron on that so it'll get greener. It's a little bit bad here in this spot, but anyways, we have a couple tanks there in the middle between the fields. There's about, I think what my brother said, 400 gallons left in there. Today evening we're gonna get the rest of that, put it in that tank back there, and then let this field, because this field is getting a little bit more fertilizer, we're gonna pump out the rest of the fertilizer out onto this field right here, and then fertilizing should be done, I believe, besides getting or trying to fix those yellow spots on the field. We're not quite sure why they're there. I think it's just lack of iron, I think is what it is. But we're gonna spray for it and hopefully it'll get greener. So now I'm gonna check up on 3 more fields and head to the shop. And that right there is some good looking cotton right beside the peanuts. Well, I guess not right beside, but pretty close. They're pretty good, looking pretty good. Don't see any flowers anywhere yet, but we are getting quite a few squares. This right here will later become a flower, but we don't have any flowers, not that it looks like. But this cotton here looks really good. I like it. It almost looks like it got a little bit of damage from something, because some of the leaves are a little bit shriveled up. Not quite sure what that is, but it's not too bad. Looks pretty good. Oh, there it is. It's a small little first aid kit, but it is a first aid kit. Let's see where we can find ourselves in here. Oh, there you go. It's exactly what I need. Let me see if I can put that on myself. Just gotta find myself a big enough mirror. There you go. Call that good. the last of it. There was actually only 250 gallons in there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in that tank. Transferring, and now that's it for fertilizer this year. Looks like it's empty enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. And I'm also going to close this valve again, just so that if all of a sudden that check valve by the pot right there all of a sudden doesn't close, that way water won't flow back in here and it's all sealed shut. So this well is also on auto, and I don't want it on auto anymore, so I'm just gonna put it back on hand, turn it back on, and we're good to go. Now all we gotta do is just wait for that fertilizer tank to get empty, and when that one over there is empty, then we'll do the same thing. We'll close the valve, turn off the pump, and then it's all closed and ready for next year. So yeah, I'm gonna go bring this nursing tank back to the shop. We don't need it here anymore. So right now we're just leaving this tank inside here because my brother just informed me that it has a broken leaf spring. Let me get it from this side. You can tell that it's broken. So yeah, we need to fix that. So I'm just gonna unhook it in here, and my brother wants me to take some shuttles and stuff off of the semi-trailer. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this forklift and move some shuttles around. This right here is an empty shuttle. I'm just taking it off of the trailer now. Gonna put it with a stack of the rest. I just swapped out this tote right here for the other one that I brought over there. It's the same chemical, it's just we're gonna need a little bit more, so we just took this tote off of there, put that other one on there. We don't need these boxes here either. We don't need them anymore. We only use them for before we have cotton on there and whatnot. So it took all that off of there, and now I'm going to get some smoke, which that's back there. So I'm just gonna move this pallet right here. Probably gonna put this full pallet on there and call it good. Cleaning up some trash. And that just lets out all the air out of the airbags where the sprayer isn't rocking so much on the trailer. So now this sprayer is loaded up and ready to head out. And if you're wondering where our sprayer is going, it's simply just going to another field. We move it from place to place because we need to fill up the water tank on the front of the trailer. And whenever we need a place to fill it up, we have certain areas around the farm. There's an area here, a couple other places. There's an area where we fill up with water. So we just have to park it there, and the farm or the area where it's going to now is like, what is it, 15-20 miles away. So we're just moving that over there because they're wanting to spray Monday. So we're just moving that sprayer and spray trailer over there. Gonna come back here, drop my brother off back at his truck, And then we're gonna call it a day. So let's hope this wound heals up, and thanks for watching, guys.